Hey guys, Senior Thesis Bart here with the Supergirl World's Finest Review. So I just finished the episode. It was great, 9 out of 10, best Supergirl episode to date, and the reason for that was Barry Allen. He shows up kind of like literally just in a flash, almost out of nowhere. I assume that tomorrow's episode is going to end with him showing up in Supergirl, and yeah, he shows up, kind of plays a role of a mentor to Kara, which was really interesting because Oliver is usually the mentor to him. So seeing him play a mentor role really highlights his maturity. They team up against two villains, Siobhan, who became, you saw at the end of the last episode, unlock her screaming powers, and she became the Silver Banshee, and she broke out Livewire. So you have this electric powered person with magic versus a metahuman and Supergirl, an alien. So it was really funny because Kara's an optimistic character, Barry's an optimistic character, and putting them together just creates all this kind of optimism and funniness, and the writers were on point. Cat Grant had a zinger about the CW, which is beautiful. Barry made a lot of shout outs to his world and his villains, and they both kind of, him and Wynn, confirmed the multiverse theory, so it was really, really cool to see that. Overall, the use of Barry was good in a superhero and mentor capacity. They also used him as a rival love interest to push Kara and James together, which actually wasn't bad. I just wasn't like, it was the same thing they did with Felicity last season, or the first season of Flash, where she was a semi love interest to Barry. So I'm not faulting them. It was not a bad choice, but not necessarily the best choice. But I don't blame them. It kind of worked. Now, I can't give this episode higher than a 9 because the two main problems were that, one, the CGI on the episode was really bad at times, like awful compared to what we're used to. So I was just not happy with that. Like the scene where Kara's falling out of a building and Barry rescues her. Like when the CGI when she's falling is just it's terrible. It's terrible. I was about to say terrific, but it's not. It's terrible. And then there's a scene later on. Oh, I forget what it was. No, they were fighting at the end, and Barry gets knocked out, and he remains like that for the rest of the fight. And the whole point was Kara trying to rebuild her faith, trying to like rebuild her relationship with National City. So at the end of the fight, it's the city that helps save Supergirl, and that's really great and nice and all, but it downplays Supergirl as a hero. She saves a helicopter earlier and gets knocked out for it, but you're just like, why does the city have to save it? And then Barry's knocked out even earlier than that. And you're like, what is the point of bringing him if he's just going to be kind of like pushed around? And it's supposed to highlight both of their strengths. And I don't think it really did that. It did highlight Barry's maturity, but not his strength as a superhero. So I wasn't a fan of that. That being said, it also highlighted Barry's strength as a scientist. And that was really nice. And we don't see that enough. Other points, I just really think this was like the best crossover episode we've had to date, where it's a major character coming on for a major reason. So I think I think this is going to work out great for CBS. It's going to bolster their ratings. It's going to get good reviews overall. And so it'll make them think, hey, maybe we should do this more often. And hopefully the answer is yes, let's do it more often. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It was kind of a nice counterpoint to Batman v Superman with all the grim and gritty. So it's kind of interesting. A friend pointed out a comparison where it's the Marvel movies that are light and funny, and their TV shows are grim and gritty, especially Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and to an extent even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Whereas in DC, it's like their movies are dark and dour, and their TV shows are, for the most part, pretty bubbly. So overall, really enjoyed the episode. Check it out if you're a Flash fan. Check it out if you're a Supergirl fan. Check it out if you're just a fan of superheroes. It's definitely one of the best crossovers to date. And overall, just a really solid episode. So that's it for Supergirl. After this, I'll be posting my Batman v Superman video. I saw it again Friday. I've taken almost today. I'm happy I took today off just to get a few more opinions. I want to see what the overall consensus, kind of what people were feeling of it was, because it's a very divisive movie, and so I just wanted to let it sink in a little more. So that's coming up after this, and Senior Thesis Bart, signing off.